This is my TRIGON AR01 I'm going to be using for the Taiwan KOM challenge. I've made some modifications to this to make it as light as possible, as this is, well, the hardest, highest hill climb race in the world. I'm going to tell you all about those and all the other features on the bike, as well as weigh it and do a free hub sound check. They sound really good. I'm going to begin telling you about the frame. Eagle-eyed viewers of GCNTech will recall I used a TRIGON AR01 for the Tour de Station as well, which proved successful. And so, well, I'm using one again for the Taiwan KOM challenge. This is the same model, the AR01, but it's in a different colourway. So let us know in the comments which you prefer, that sort of bronzy gold one I had before, or this kind of teal, kind of light bluey greeny colour with bare carbon poking through. Like the top tube's the bare carbon and the TRIGON logo's bare carbon. I suspect that this paint job actually might be a little bit lighter. But yeah, let us know which you prefer. What you can see, I think, a bit clearer on this paint job, it just kind of stands out a little bit more to me, is the aero dimples that are on the frame. So you've got them here on the seat tube, the stays there, and around the head tube and fork and down tube. So for those who haven't seen the previous bike check video, they're just to try and disrupt the boundary layer of airflow and trip it from laminar to turbulent to just help it keep attached for longer. And TRIGON say that this is something that's quite, well, difficult to do to a carbon frame without adding weight, but they've got a sort of top secret way of being able to do it. Looks pretty cool. So other features on the bike are that it actually has aero fairings that you can attach over the brake calipers to smooth the airflow over them. They're not UCI legal, and they do add a teeny tiny bit of weight. So I used them in the Tour de Station, but I've actually removed them here. An interesting detail that allows you to see is the mounting points for the brake calipers. So this bike differs from a lot of other bikes I've used in that rather being set up for either 140 or 160 millimeter diameter rotors, it's set up for either 160 or 180. So if you put a little mounting plate under there, that would then extend it to a 180 rotor. And then similarly, this mounting plate here is spaced on the fork so that it's a standard setup for 160, but you could go to 180. I think this is a great idea because I think something that the road bike industry is currently not getting right is I don't think brake rotors are big enough on road bikes. I think 140s are too small, they cook out too easily, you tend to burn through the rotors too fast. 160s are good, but a lot of riders aren't pro riders and they're weigh a lot more than a pro rider, in which case there's an argument that you should be using 180s. So I think that is a fantastic feature. If you're not familiar with TRIGON, Taiwanese brand, and they make very high-end carbon frames for a lot of brands that you've definitely heard of, that are regarded amongst the best in the world. And well, the TRIGON is their own bike using that same expertise. I can't tell you who the brands are that they make bikes for because that's a secret, but you've definitely heard of them. Another really cool feature that I love on the bike is the cockpit. So it's the same one I had for the Tour de Station. It's 38 centimeters wide, nice and narrow and aero, I like that. My shoulders aren't super wide, so it's comfortable. And it's a 120 stem. I've got the climbing shifters on there, which come as standard with this black tech cockpit. So that is just a great feature. I found in the Tour de Station I was using them all the time, and I kind of want them on all my bikes now, but the way that they're so neatly integrated into this bar is really smart. And out front I'm using my Wahoo bolt. I'm not using my Roam, I'm using the smaller bolt because I want to keep the weight down a little bit. Now onto the power meter. So this is a special bit of kit that has been kindly supplied by ROTOR for us to help make this video possible. Coming out to Taiwan, it's a pretty expensive endeavour to come out here and make videos, so it's good to have some great sponsors on board. We've also got Elitewheels, I'll tell you about those in a sec. So the bottom bracket is a T47, which I am very pleased that it's got. It's a relatively new standard, but it's been taking off and I've seen it spec'd on a lot of new bikes. And I regard it as a good thing because every bike that I've used that's had it, it's worked very well. So for those of you who are unfamiliar, it's a threaded bottom bracket combined with a press fit, basically. You've got threaded like inserts in the bottom bracket shell, and then into those you thread in cups that have press fit bearings into those cups. And yeah, it seems to work really well as kind of taking the best bits of both of those systems. So the power meter we've got, the Rotor Twin Power SL, is said to be the lightest dual-sided power meter available. Now it's 530 grams, which is very light. I mean, to put that into context, the Shimano Jura Ace power meter is around 730 grams. So yeah, quite a significant saving there with these really nice machined aluminium crank arms. They're 170s I've gone for there. And then into those, I've actually got some really lightweight pedals, another mod. They're Wahoo Speed Plays, but they're the fancy pants titanium axled nano version, just 173 grams a pair. So cheeky weight saving there over the normal chromoly axles that you get. Other cool features on the power meter, it has an inbuilt battery that lasts 250 hours, and it's rechargeable via this little magnetic port. You take off this seal and then there's a little magnetic charging cable that goes on there. And it's accurate with non-round rings, which I don't personally use them, but a lot of people do, and that's a good feature to have. Speaking of which, I've got 36 52 chain rings on here, so mid-compact group set, because I just want this sort of all-round use of the chain rings, not just for the KOM. And then we've got the 1134 Jura Ace cassette on the back, so 36, 34. Hoping that's going to be sufficient gears. I spoke to Si, who did the event in 2017, and he reckons I'll be absolutely fine with those gears. So if I'm not, it's Si's fault. Also, wax chain patrol. Of course I have. Also helping us out with this challenge, as I mentioned, is Elitewheels with their drive wheels. These are seriously cool, and they do various different depths of wheels. So they do 40s, 45s, 50s, 60s. These are the 40s, and I picked these because, well, they're the lightest option, and this race is uphill. And they're very light, just 60 grams a pair, and they're tubeless ready out of the box. What helps keep that weight down is in part the carbon spokes that they have, which also give really high lateral stiffness to the wheels. They really are very smart. The rims have a very smart looking sort of glossy marble effect on them as well, and they're made from a blend of T800 and T1000 Toray carbon. So apparently that helps keep them stiff and nice and light, according to Elite. And as mentioned, tubeless out the box with the rim tape already installed, and these valves already installed, which have on the valve cap, you can see if I remove it here, quite useful. It's got the little key on it to remove the valve core if you need to. I've got those set up tubeless. I did it in my hotel room this morning with Pirelli P0 SL tyres, and I've got 26 millimeters on there because, again, save a bit of weight, 26 over 28. And I've got 20 millilitres of silica sealant in there as well, with the graphene stuff in. The inner rim width is 21 millimetres, so they're designed for tyres between 25 and 38, so 26, absolutely fine on them. And that's not all, they've got ceramic bearings as well in these CNC machined hubs. So we've got to hear what they sound like, haven't we? Ooh. Look at that engagement. Good, that. Look at that. It's like instant engagement. The wheels also come with a 3-year warranty, and they're $11.89 a pair. So pretty competitively priced for what you're getting there, I feel. What else? Topeak carbon cages on there, nice and light, keep the weight down. And I've got my bottles. I'm going to put 80 grams of beta fuel in each bottle, and then carry a load of beta fuel jellies in my pocket as well. And then I can grab bottles at the feed stations during the event. Got my Topeak saddlebag on there too, with a bunch of spares in it, just in case I get a puncture. I'm going to carry spares because I don't want it, well, to happen to me what happened when we did a lap in Mallorca and I left my tube in the car. And on here as well, I've got a new saddle to save weight as well. This is a Sella Italia SLR Boost Techno. My favourite saddle of all time, the SLR Boost. It's like the short-nosed SLR. But I normally run one that has like a cover on it and some padding. This is just the bare carbon version they've made. Not the lightest saddle they make. The traditional just SLR Techno, that's the longer nosed one, is lighter. That's just 59 grams, the C59 version, clues in the name. This one's more like 90 grams, so still really, really light, but a little bit heavier. But yeah, I just want to save some weight. This isn't a super long ride, and I get along with the profile of this shaped saddle. I mean, I didn't have any issues at all during the Tour de Station, and saddles are very individual. You know, the best saddle for you isn't the best saddle for me, probably, but yeah, I mean, I get along well with this one. Well, that's all well and good, Ollie. I know that's what you're all saying right now, but we want to know the weight. Don't worry. The Park Tool scales are here. Let's weigh it. Let's see. I'm going to take the saddlebag off, though. Can't wait with the saddlebag on. Ah, 6.66. The beast. The mark of the beast. 600th, 3-6. 666. So there you have it, my bike for the Taiwan KOM. Well, for those of you who are unfamiliar, it's 80 kilometers uphill, and it's about 3,500 meters of climbing that I've got to do. So, it's going to be hard, but I'm proper excited. I can't wait to give it a go. The event looks absolutely mega. Let us know down in the comments what your thoughts are on the bike, and if you've got any questions, fire them down below as well. I'm going to go and eat some carbohydrates now, a lot of carbohydrates, and get some sleep. Love you, bye.